Ladies and gentlemen, it took Kevin McCarthy 15 tries to become Speaker of the House, 15 attempts. He finally got it a year and a half ago or a year ago. Now you have Jim Jordan with 3 attempts, and media is trying to dance in the end zone. It's not going to work. He's going to win eventually, and here's why. You can watch and hear Kevin McCarthy back Jim Jordan today. Just listen to former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, right now.
Nominations are now in order. The chair recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. McCarthy.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to nominate Jim Jordan for the Speaker of the House. Now, I've listened to the speeches this week, and I can already tell you what my friends on the other side will say using their poll-tested phrases.
Poll-tested phrases. So, Jim Jordan stands for something. He is not afraid of media. Kevin McCarthy did his best, but he's more of an establishment Republican. Jim Jordan is going to impeach Biden for obvious graft and bribery schemes. You'd have to be a complete fool, an imbecile. You'd have to be the most disingenuous person on the planet to think that money was going to Hunter and Joe from around the world simply because of their expertise. People pay Democrats, whether it's Bill, Hillary, Joe, Hunter, through philanthropic organizations or through shell companies for influence, access to the U.S. government. And when Joe forced out a prosecutor, that was because Hunter was getting paid. Again, it really doesn't matter if Democrats, liberal Democrats, people siding with Biden say, that's not true. Oh my God, that's not true. Money went to Hunter. Joe did a favor. It's right there. Then you have emails from the laptop literally asking Hunter for help. Literally asking him for help and influence, and then Joe goes ahead and implements or does the favor and shows the influence. So hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. We'll continue to hear Kevin McCarthy, but it took 15 times for McCarthy to win. The 20 holdouts are not doing themselves any favors. Okay, eventually they're going to realize they will lose any re-election bid. Any attempt at regaining or continuing to serve as a Republican. It really doesn't matter also if they're Republicans in blue states. Some of them are. They're holdouts. Because the most conservative people oftentimes are surrounded by a whole bunch of very morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats who live in cities that are with inflation through the roof and a whole bunch of problems that they just apparently don't care about, that are exacerbated by politicians that do nothing and just continue to keep office in blue states. Anyway, that's a whole other story. But Jim Jordan's going to impeach Biden. That's why media can't stand Jim Jordan. That's why they accuse him of things he never did. That's why they accuse Trump of things he never did. Trump was never an operative of the Kremlin. Again, you'd have to be a complete imbecile to believe that. But the Steele dossier, which was complete and utter garbage and nonsense, was purchased by the DNC and Clinton, and they were both fined by the FEC. Trump was never fined by the FEC, but he was indicted by Democrats for campaign issues. But here, hit subscribe to read my writing in The Hill, the Huffington Post, Salon, the Jerusalem Post, the Federalist, other publications. Go to hagoodman.com. That's hagoodman.com. And to the super thanks, thank you. The Patreon is below if you want to support my work. Here's Kevin McCarthy, more of Kevin McCarthy.
But let me correct the record. Jim Jordan is an effective legislator. To legislate is about more than the name on the bill. It's about reaching compromise and working long hours behind the scenes to get the job done.
What are Democrats upset about? What on earth did they do? Did they pass a Medicare for all bill or single payer bill like AOC and Bernie Sanders said would happen? What did they do? Did they pass a Green New Deal legislation from AOC? These are the things that they promised people. Okay, what they do is they allow inflation to go through the roof, then they raise interest rates and then claim that they've lowered inflation. Well, you've raised interest rates through the roof, made it more difficult for people to buy homes. Then they say, oh, we're going to cancel student debt. Well, everything's more expensive still. Inflation is not at 3% or 3.5. It's much higher than that for food and energy and rent. And so it is like a joke now among the latest generation of Americans to just own a home. They're making jokes about it on commercials. Well, it's even more difficult to own a home because interest rates are through the roof. And so your mortgage, most people can't afford the mortgage payment. Okay, that's because of Democratic Party policies. You shut down economic activity. You can look at Jim Jordan, one of his tweets from 2020. Do not shut down economic activity. He was 100% right. Republicans like Jim Jordan, the actual Trump Republicans, Trump himself, they were 100% right. Trump should never have acquiesced, by the way. I mean, we all make mistakes, but that was even 1 month, 2 months, 2 weeks. They should never have shut down economic activity. And we're heading towards a financial cliff. We're on thin ice in terms of the economy. The only thing keeping interest rates, keeping inflation down is high interest rates, which is hurting the economy. And you're going to have more issues with banks, a stock market crash. And this is not just me. You can look at a whole bunch of billionaire investors saying the same thing. But ladies and gentlemen, you look at Jim Jordan, and he's going to impeach Biden because Biden actually did engage in graft and bribery schemes. Trump did not do anything. Like, the funny thing is, to the casual observer, Trump is like this corrupt monster with a terrible personality. The opposite is true. If you actually listen to Trump speak, and not just the sound bites, he's actually hilarious. And the personality is better than Biden's completely phony. I call him, I basically, at this point, he's codenamed mashed potato brains. So what can you say? His personality, the personality of Democrats are completely fabricated, poll-driven, public relations, created personalities. Trump oftentimes says what he feels, and then it's completely mangled and butchered in media. So when he says that a terrible, terrible adversary is smart, he doesn't mean they're smart on their SATs. He doesn't mean that they're really smart in terms of their grades. He means devious. He means conniving. He means insidious. Okay? Yes, unfortunately, our adversaries, global adversaries, are intelligent enough to do insidious things. That's what he meant. But of course, media, he's complimenting these people. No, that's why nobody trusts media. But here, let's finish this up.
The House will come to order. Gentlemen may resume.
Meet the blue.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, so you can look right here. Democrats back. Democrats, okay, condemn as McCarthy effective legislator. He is an effective legislator. And he's also a very good, he's the House Judiciary Chairman. He's very, very good at pointing out the corruption within the Democratic Party. Okay? But, I mean, for a political party, the Democratic Party, who has done nothing aside from further liberal policies and then call that a big, amazing, grandiose achievement. Yeah, you had the House of Representatives and you have the Senate. Wow, that's so amazing that Biden was able to sign some bills. Wow, fantastic. Meanwhile, the economy is really on thin ice, And it's because of shutting down economic activity, which was pushed by Democrats and bureaucrats, opposed by Jim Jordan. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe. He'll win eventually. Right now.